So in continuation, let's talk about 10 tips for parents, to consider when their teens are hanging, or their preteens are hanging out with the wrong crowd. The first thing is avoid being judgmental. While our number one goal is to protect our kids, we need to remember not to rush, to judgment of the other child or our preteens and teens friends. Perhaps a group of new friends may seem like a bad influence, but in reality, they are harmless. The poor grades, and foul attitude could possibly stem from your teens or your preteens own issues or something else going on in school, or maybe your child may be acting out of passion or compassion because you think another child is being treated unfairly. But before blaming your child's friend, make sure that you assess the situation holistically and keep a clear view of your preteens and your teens' strengths and weakness. Number 2, don't constantly badmouth their friends. Please, parents, don't constantly badmouth their friends. If you know for a fact that your preteen or teens friends are a bad influence, try to avoid being too vocal, about them, and don't make it personal. Please, this kind of negativity might only add fuel to the fire, because the way pair relationships are so important in adolescence, most preteens and teens will immediately seek to defend their friends. Additionally, when you only see the worst in your child's friends, it may reinforce that you don't understand them, you don't understand what's going on through these, teenagers that I always talk about. So, for example, you may have realized that your preteen or your teen was sitting by themselves at lunch, and was relieved to finally have someone that connects with them, that understands them during this time. Or maybe they may identify with this new group for a specific reason and finally feel like they belong. But when parents constantly spew criticism on their friends, the child feels like the parents are criticizing them too, and then they begin to draw away from you. This approach can backfire, and further cement this new relationship with this individual, which you don't want. So if you feel you must address their friends, set your clear statements that are of a fact, as much as possible. For example, you can say, I know that Joe is nice to you, but I don't like that he and his friends regularly vape. It's not something I want you to do, and I know that the more opportunities you have to participate, the harder it is for you to say no. That's such a heartfelt message. So the third thing that we can do, is it starts in the home. You're having doubts about your preteens and teens friend group. The best way to assess the situation is with your own eyes and ears. Be the house that always has a stock, cupboard full of teenage snacks, cook pots of spaghetti. Let them have a space that is inviting. When you bring people close to you, it does a lot of wonders. And open up a conversation with them. Whenever my children's friends come over, I always have a pep talk with them. I'm sure they know that my mom is, so instead of trying to shut them out, try inviting them over. You may find that they are much better friends for your preteen or teen than you thought. Some preteens or teens don't feel comfortable having their friends over, and it may not have anything to do with bad behavior. One of the downsides of technology is that preteens and teens are always texting to coordinate plans or messages from the car that they are ready to go, So at the minimum, insist that your preteens or teens friends come to the door, come to your house. It is not out of bounds to put a name to the faces of your children's friends. And then I think number 5, this is going to be kind of a long video. Kindness counts. If you have a feeling your child, preteen and teen especially, friends aren't treating them kindly or using them for a specific purpose, like they have a car or extra money from their job, have a chat with them about what makes a good friend. We always talk about it, and talk to them about how to identify a toxic friend. So maybe say things like, so why do you like hanging out with Molly? Or what do you have in common? So, these types of questions simply open up the lines of communication instead of being filled with, assumptions, and bad languages. Sometimes we know well, these things will backfire. An added bonus is these sort of questions may get your teenager really, really thinking, about the new friendship as well, and then eventually acting on it. So keep this in mind. However, your preteens and teens are desperate to feel like part of a group and will do almost anything to fit in with their peers. A good strategy is to keep modeling, and discussing what a good friendship looks like, and encourage your teen or your preteen to participate in a wide, variety of social situations and school activities. Additionally, keep trying to build up your teens' self-confidence, by encouraging them to participate in activities that make them feel good about themselves, that they like to do, that that they will do very well. Sometimes our children just need to be reminded about what makes them feel happy and confident. And then number 5 or 6, focus on your child's action. Make your teen or preteen behavior about that only. After all, they are the ones making the choices and need to be held accountable. So therefore, if you attack their friends and don't emphasize the wrong actions, they may be missing the point. So let them take responsibility for their actions. There's a difference between being critical about such things, as fashion and music choices, and participating in risky behavior. It is important to keep in mind that your preteen or teen may see their friends as loyal, things that we don't see, as understanding, as kind, so you need to separate the actions that they engage in from the people, so your child will hear you. So number 6, get to know other parents. When I was a teen, I think this was one of my parents' superpower. They always got to know my friends' parents, whether it was at an athletic event or even on the phone. She made an attempt to get to know the families that I was hanging out with outside of school. I know that most of us don't like to talk when we go out to these activities, but it's important that we're doing so. She was also very clear to them about what I was allowed, and what I wasn't allowed to do. That's a good place to even pass out some information. This way, we shared common ground with other parents while also emphasizing, what her expectations were of me. Of course, most teenagers find this annoying, and you will receive complaints from your child like, oh, why are you talking to my friend's mom? This is a good time for a reminder that your job as a parent is to keep your child safe and guide them with supervision, monitoring, and not be their friend. Even the best of teen friendships can still be complicated and experience some drama. So make sure that your adolescent has some time to feel safe and accept it in their own home without having to defend their new group of friends. Excuse me. So strong family relationships are beneficial, and a belief that parents and siblings will love them no matter what. The best way to keep your teenager get through a rocky situation. I've made videos about that teenagers, the ones that can come back home, are the ones that know that their parents have them. So number 7, set clear expectation. Creating clear boundaries for your preteens or teens is important. They don't act like it, but preteens and teens actually want boundaries. It helps them know what is okay and what isn't okay with you, and more importantly, it gives them an excuse to get out of a tricky situation. I taught the children in my Read With Us this summer program, use your parents as an excuse. When you're in a tight situation, you can say, my mom said I shouldn't do this. They might laugh at you, but it will help you. Why you don't want to create a rule, a home rule, it is vital they know where you stand on certain actions. So if coffees, and is zero tolerance for experimentation are imperative in your home, that should be clear make it clear so that they know beforehand. Number 8, demonstrate vulnerability. Opening the conversation line is probably the greatest action you can have with your preteens and teens, but often this can be difficult for them. So one way to help crack that stubborn door open is by sharing yourself. I've made videos about this stuff, because when we go to pick our children, we say, how are you, and they say fine. Open up about your day. It can feel liberating, when you talk about your own experiences from when you were a teenager, perhaps sharing how you navigated your own peer group that didn't feel right at that time. Your preteens and teens can connect with you on a deeper level, because they may be able to relate to a time where they didn't like where you didn't like your friend's behavior, or when you didn't make good decisions. Understanding that you have a shared perspective can be a powerful tool in managing your preteens or your teens behavior. You can also bare your soul when it comes to your fears as a parent. Very importantly, they can grow to understand that you value them as a person, while also growing concern for their well-being. Additionally, don't forget to remind your preteen or your teen that you believe they are a good kid, they are good children. Sometimes we forget, to tell them this. We get so concerned with the negative that we forget to see the growth that comes out, from their lives, from these new friendships as well. And then number 10, a therapist is never a bad idea. A counselor is never a bad idea, and that's what I do. Sometimes preteens and teens make bad choices, and sometimes you just want to experiment. When reckless behavior is becoming a habit, though, it might be time to seek outside help from somebody. It can be your family friend, somebody that they talk to, somebody that they know, a therapist, a mental health, a psychologist. While it is impossible that your teenager may be in with the wrong crowd, it's also possible they are navigating a mental health issue, depression, anxiety, self-esteem issues that sometimes as parents we overlook. So we need to make sure we're focusing on the why of certain behaviors, just so that we can address these issues. Helping your preteen or teen navigate groups of friends can be very, very tricky. So overall, try to be as inviting as you can, while also keeping those communication lines open. I hope this video has helped you. This video is like a response to a concern from a mom of a preteen and teen. In fact, is like me coaching you. So if you need coaching sessions for yourself or your preteens, or counseling sessions, buzz me. I'm going to help you. I'm going to speak with your child. I'm going to speak with you, and then I'll use the tools that we use to help your child. So thank you so much for watching. My videos are not usually this long, but I just had to put this out. So thank you for watching. Like, share, tell parents, your friends of this channel, so that they can subscribe, and also subscribe to and then I'll see you in my next one. I'll try and upload 2 videos a week, so maybe Wednesdays and Sunday evenings, maybe 6 p.m. I'll try to keep that. So I'll see you in my next one. Peace.